Man, I dumped my savings in a meme stock play. Reddit said it's easy trying to flip and get paid. Bought the top tick, thought I was ahead. Now I'm holding bags so heavy they could wake the dead. Charts look bullish, volume going insane. But I didn't read the filings, man, who needs the pain? Margin call hit like a freight train blast. Now I'm sitting on a curb, broke, dumbing out class. When you bet it all, man, you gotta pay the cost. Thought I'd get rich, now I'm stuck in a loss. When you follow in, man, you better have a plan. Or the market gon' remind you, you ain't no stand. Dumb money moves. Yeah, it hurts when you learn. Playing with fire, man, you're bound to get burned. Sold my PS5 just to make another trade. Got my ass kicked twice, man, this game don't play. Follow Twitter gurus like they had the cheat code. Turns out they were pumping, now I'm left with the load. Watch the stock dump faster than a crypto rug pull. My portfolio's looking like a clown car full. Told my mom I'm a genius, now I can't pay rent. Even my landlord's laughing, asking where my money went. Gone. When you bet it all, man, you gotta pay the cost. Thought I'd get rich, now I'm stuck in a loss. When you FOMO in, man, you better have a plan. Or the market gon' remind you ain't no goddamn stand. Dumb money moves, yeah, it hurts when you learn. Playing with fire, man, you're bound to get burned. Try to double down, cause I'm stupid as hell. But the stock hit new lows, man, I'm taking the L. Call my broker begging, please give me one more shot. No. Said, man, stop trading, just go get a job. Damn. Even my dog won't look in my eyes. He knows I lost it all, trying to chase that high. Now I'm back on YouTube, watching how-to vids. How to save money when you ain't got shit. When you bet it all, man, you gotta pay the cost. Thought I'd get rich, now I'm stuck in a loss. When you FOMO in, man, you better have a plan. Or the market gon' remind you ain't no goddamn stand. Dumb money moves, yeah, it hurts when you learn. Playing with fire, man, you're bound to get burned. Bound to get burned.
Oh, brother. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Core Show, aka welcome back to another episode of Degenerates Anonymous. Folks, it is a beautiful Wednesday, January the 22nd, and man, oh man, is the market rippity-skippity doodah to the upside. The SPY is currently up 0.5%, the Qs are up 1%, Nvidia's up 3%, Netflix is up 15%, Bitcoin's holding around 104%, Trump coin's just below 42%. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of bullishness, and it just seems like the things that I picked to be bullish on, at least as of this morning, aren't looking so hot. But hey, the game hasn't even officially started today, so I'm not sweating it, at least not sweating it quite yet. We are going to have a good one today. Not only is the market looking very, very strong, we have some seasonality things to call out. We have some Bayesian probability things to call out. I do believe I fixed my last issue in Skynet, or like the most recent one. It's definitely not going to be my last problem, but it's the most recent one. So I'm hoping that that can perform a bit better today. I'll give you a recap on all my trades from yesterday. We have some political drama, basically Trump announcements to go over, some macroeconomic news, some earnings news, some prep for the remainder of the week, some options updates with respect to flow, and big day tomorrow. Big day for your boy tomorrow. Potentially one of the biggest days of the entire year. I do have a haircut scheduled for tomorrow. So obviously, I'm going to be nervous probably throughout the day today. I'm going to probably be nervous tomorrow. Big day for your boy Mateo. Midday afternoon haircut. So we're going to see how that goes. So I don't know if that's going to impact the market today. Maybe yes, maybe no, but you never know with such monumental things on the schedule, on the docket. So that might have an impact today. It might not. It most likely will. So I just want everyone to know that, yes, I do have a haircut scheduled for tomorrow. So it's going to be a bit of a crazy one. I hope you had a good day yesterday. I had a very weird day yesterday. I did the show with all of you guys, and then I had a lot of personal things to take care of. So I was away from the computer for most of the day. I just was feverishly checking things on my phone. Fortunately, that when I left you guys, I had that sitting profit target on all my futures accounts. Those did hit. I did tweet it out when the market closed yesterday. Fortunately, I was able to lock in 50 points per account, which is $1,000. And then I have 20 accounts. So I locked in the 20 grand there. The Skynet, once again, we've been seeing some weird code issues where it's trading more contracts than I wanted to. I do believe I was able to fix that last night when I was working on it again. Obviously, we're going to find out when the casino opens today. Hopefully, I didn't mess up anything else. I find generally when I'm coding things up, if I fix one bug, I'm kind of generating like 3, 4, 5 more. So hopefully I didn't end up doing that. With respect to selling premium yesterday, I didn't do anything because once again, I was away from the computer. And with respect to swing trades, I did add to one position. The Discord knows about that. Obviously, if you want to join up with the Goonie Trading Discord, your first month is completely free. I think when you get in there, you're really, really going to enjoy it. So make sure to check that out. Don't forget to use that code Goonie, Goonie, to get in there and test it out for a month. See if it's appropriate for you. If it is, great, stick around. If not, just cancel within the first month. No questions asked, and literally a riskless opportunity for you. So with all that being said, I hope you absolutely crushed it yesterday. I hope you had a good one, and I hope you're having an even better morning and ideally an even better trading session today. Here's where we're currently at. Like I said, the SPY is sky high ever since 10:15 yesterday. The NASDAQ is sky high ever since 10:15 yesterday. NVIDIA really, really benefiting off of some recent commentary from the new president, and then Netflix crushing earnings, currently up 14%. So obviously we're going to be talking about these 4 things, but we're going to be talking about many other things, including what in the world's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Trump coin. We're going to be looking at coin itself drifting down. Don't really want to see that. Same with MSTR. Tesla's drifting down. Not happy to see that. Would prefer that to go up. DJT took a big hit yesterday, hoping it can turn around today. Rumble had a wild day, big sell-off, big recovery. Palantir is looking absolutely phenomenal, absolutely bullish. Microsoft wasn't really doing anything, and then in post-market got a big pump. Apple's been getting absolutely destroyed lately. This is clearly like the weakest major tech stock. So we're going to see if the bearishness is continuing in old AAPL. ASML in the world of semiconductors looking pretty good. Meta, interesting first 2/3 of the day yesterday. Strong recovery, looking good this morning. Broadcom, another semiconductor play, looking good. Amazon, this is just going with the flow of the NASDAQ dipped, and then at 10:15 started to completely rip. Google, not really following suit. Ripple, just chilling right above $3. Solana chilling just below 260. You have Texas Roadhouse reclaiming 180. You have bonds bouncing a little bit, but overall still the daily trend, not the best. Oil sitting above 75. Gold sitting at 2,760, and then obviously the yield curve is still in the positive territory. So that's a very, very quick breakdown. Obviously, there are things that are noteworthy in how bullish they are, but it's not like every single thing is bullish right now. We do see some noteworthy divergence in the world of tech, so we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But before we do, what is this? Jamie Dimon says he's patched relationship with Musk. Elon and I hugged it out. What an update. S&P 500 and NASDAQ futures rise. Netflix pops after earnings. We will be getting into that. But one of the major things moving the market right now relates to the president. President number 47, Donald J. Trump. So we got this update last night. Trump pardoned Silk Road creator Ross Ulbricht. This is actually a Penn State alum. He was running Silk Road, which if you don't know what that is, it was a tour-based marketplace where you could buy whatever you wanted, and there were some benign things being sold, such as art. And then there was other things being sold, such as drugs and mercenaries. So he ended up, I believe, getting 2 life sentences with no opportunity of parole. A lot of people thought it was BS, and actually he was just pardoned by the president. CEOs launch war rooms hotlines to cope with Trump's order blitz. This is very important because what we've been talking about lately is the major thing moving the market, especially because from a macroeconomic standpoint, this week is kind of quiet, but it's quiet in terms of data reports. It's absolutely packed busy with what Trump is doing or not doing. A lot of tariff talk, but we're also getting other discussions and updates of what's going on with the border, immigration, what's going on with the Gulf of America, aka the Gulf of Mexico is no longer. There's just a lot of movement A lot of decisions being made that can directly have an impact on the economy, and I don't think this is going to slow down anytime soon. He's just getting going. The major thing I would say in the short term here is what is the rhetoric and the discussion going to be like related to tariffs. And as of now, I guess the line in the sand, the red circle on everyone's calendar is what's happening by February 1st. So we're going to be getting into that, but I'm just showing you this article from the Wall Street Journal because, as I say, you got to have on your notifications. Obviously, ideally, I'd prefer that you have it on for my channel, both on Rumble and YouTube. But even when it comes to whatever app you are using to get your news, whenever you're getting anything about Trump and especially tariffs, you want to be reacting to that as quickly as you possibly can. I mean, not only are we seeing clear impacts in the market, but we're also seeing it with individual companies. They're getting prepped for all this as it's coming in. You never know when he's going to say something, so you gotta be prepared. Trump says he's considering a 10% tariff on China beginning as soon as Feb 1. That's the day that I said, hey, pay attention, especially because this is going to be right after the FOMC meeting, right after a new PCE report, an inflation report. So this week is still busy with relation to Trump. Next week, it's busy with relation to Trump and also macroeconomic updates. On Tuesday evening, President Donald Trump said his team was talking up to a 10% tariff on China. He said the duty could take effect as early as February 1st. During his campaign as president in 2024, Trump called for levies upward of 60% on China. So when you have time, I would recommend listening to his entire press conference from last night. There was a lot of things he talked about, a lot of things he got into. This is obviously one of the major things, but it definitely wasn't the only thing. UK, quote unquote, not part of the problem when it comes to U.S. trade, Britain's finance minister says. One of the, I guess, major themes of what Trump got into last night related to EU. Like in general, his stance right now is with relation to all of our major trade partners, the U.S. is being taken advantage of. And he's not specifically picking on Canada, Mexico, and China. He's talking about them a lot because we trade with them a lot, but he's not drawing the line at the EU. He is definitely calling out the EU as well for being an unfair trade partner. So surprise, surprise, this morning, especially as Davos is going on, we have the Britain's finance minister saying, we're not problem. That's not us. What are you talking about? The UK is, quote unquote, not part of the problem when it comes to, quote unquote, persistent trade deficits with the President Donald Trump wants to tackle. The country's finance minister told, don't quote me on this, but I think there's a $300 billion trade deficit between the US and the EU, which is something that clearly Trump wants to take care of. I do understand that President Trump is concerned about the countries that are running large and persistent surpluses on the trade balance with the U.S. That's not the case for the EU. The UK. So maybe the United Kingdom in itself is fine. And maybe he's talking about other parts of the EU, which is totally possible. But once again, I'm just showing you all this because this is going to be the theme of the things we have to pay attention to for the coming weeks. Trump widens tariff threats on China and Europe on day 2 in office. This is a little clip from Bloomberg, but like I said, when you have time today, you should probably listen to his entire press conference from last night.
It's something that we've already heard before.
Sure.
In a way, is that a positive then? Because it's not something that's a fresh levy.
Yeah, I liken it to yesterday, China basically dodged the artillery, right? The bombs were coming in potentially, and they dodged it, only to be hit by a stray bullet today. And that stray little bullet was this reviving. Oh, yes, because it was in an impromptu press conference, right, where they asked about tariffs. Yes, they sidestepped the broader tariffs upwards of 60%. That's still potentially in the works. Obviously, he's tariff man, Trump, right? So he's going to probably do it. He's entrusted his agencies to come up with studies on the efficacy of global tariffs, including on China, as well as to kind of see the compliance of China from the phase 1 trade deal. So that was sidestepped. They missed that barrage. But today he was asked about it again, about tariffs, and he said, well, 10% is still in the cards, possibly February 1st. And that is not necessarily the broader one, but it is on broader goods. But it's because, as you mentioned, the fentanyl issue and the border. And it is something China could address. They don't necessarily have to completely cut off fentanyl precursors in China and then the shipments. And it's a complicated supply chain, if you will. And that's something that China's also sort of said, we'll help. Remember, Biden and Xi did meet. They talked about it in San Francisco. without admitting that they're doing this. But they can say the right things again. They could make some steps to avert this by February 1st. So I still think the overall tone is positive in the opening 2 days between Trump and China relations. It was also in evidence by the vice premier was speaking in Davos, and he was like saying, look, we don't aim to have a trade surplus with anyone, and especially the United States. We are going to import more. And he was more conciliatory. Yes, he did warn about trade wars and protectionism and this and that. That's a common narrative from Beijing. But I think overall, they're trying to say the right thing in Beijing, including saying we're willing to work with the sanctioned Marco Rubio as the Secretary of State.
It's a little early to throw out a conjecture like this, a hypothesis like this, an opinion like this. But if I had to guess right now, and don't hold me to this because things can change, but as of today, Wednesday, the 22nd, I think here's what's going to happen. I think all these other countries are going to bend to the will of Trump. And then all of a sudden, the tariffs are going to come in very low or actually non-existent. And then I think that's going to prompt the entire market to have a sigh of relief. And then that's going to send us even higher. I think there's a very real shot that the S&P 500, specifically the SPX, by the time this all settles within the next week or two, is actually above 6,100 at one point in a time or other. It's not the craziest call out. Right now in pre-market, we're trading around 6,077. Not long ago, we were at 5,800, but 6,100, it is important because if you come to the daily chart here, that's pretty much the all-time high. So I'm not calling this out just because it's exclusively a key psychological level at the next $100 rung, but it is truly the all-time high. So I think what we're setting up for here is a continuation of the Trump pump that we're already seeing now. I think these other countries are going to be like, hey, we're going to trade with the U.S. more, and we're going to get 0 to no tariffs or 0 to low tariffs. And I think the market's going to be like, cool, we can handle that. And then that's going to push us up even higher. Now, I don't have the most developed thoughts or opinions of how the market will react when we get to this new all-time high. It could easily be a rejection, or we could continue. I'm going to save my thoughts and opinions for that when I can see the option structure by the time we're actually trading at that price. I want to see how the big money is positioning itself. I don't find it really useful to call out a prediction right now when we simply just don't have the data to base it on. But from what we currently have, there are some aggressive option players coming in looking at roughly that all-time high. Trump's SEC launching a quote-unquote crypto task force to develop clear regulations for the industry. This is going to be led by the SEC Commissioner, Hester Pierce, who is actually kind of really well known in her support for crypto. Senator Cynthia Lummis also kind of getting involved, congratulating the team. With this, we're finally getting some info related to how beneficial will Trump be for the crypto sphere. Bitcoin on the day of the inauguration at 2 a.m. hitting a new all-time high of 109,000, taking out the previous high by about $1,000 of 108,000. We're not at the all-time high right now, but we're pretty close to it. I am uniquely interested right now in the world of Solana just because this spike to a new all-time high. We're getting some messages from the likes of Coinbase that there's so much demand for Solana that it doesn't even have Solana right now to even sell to any additional people. So that's a pretty wild update. And then obviously with Trump launching his own meme coin, this is a worthwhile one to watch right now. It's been doing some crazy stuff. Looks a little weak this morning, but we know that this thing is going to move on a moment's notice with any random discussion or update or errant tweet. So just something that I have alerts for just in case there's a breakout and or a potential breakdown. So crypto, definitely watching, and you're going to get this vibe, and I'm going to be covering this right before the market opens just because as more people come in, I think it's this important. In the conversation yesterday, yes, we got updates about tariffs. We got updates about crypto. Probably one of the biggest ones for equities that I see you guys commonly discussing, and I myself am interested in it, is this whole new effort referred to as Stargate, which is going to be, I believe, 500 is it million or billion? It must be billion. I don't know. It's 500, a lot of money right here. This is what I'm talking about. 500 a billion. I didn't want to mess that up. It is billion with a B for AI infrastructure, which is part of the reason why early this morning, semiconductors are having such a good push because the US is going to be throwing even more money behind it. But before we get to that, just so you know, Nothing really scheduled today. I believe there is a bond auction at 1 p.m., but you can see Wednesday, January 22nd, not even on the list. So there's no like surprise huge announcements. We're still in earnings season. I'm going to be covering Netflix. It came out after the market closed. Obviously, we heard from some other players as well. Later on this week, American Airlines, we have Verizon, American Express. I would say the equities that you guys are seemingly most interested in really get going next week. But coming back for a second to Netflix, Netflix shares soar on a company report, surging revenue, tops 300 million subscribers. It crushed. Their earnings per share was $4.27 versus $4.20. The revenue was $10.25 million versus an expectation of $10.11. And the paid memberships was almost 302 million when they were expecting 291. Obviously, their current cumulative paid memberships, it almost doubled their quarterly expectations for new memberships. And I actually believe it has a lot to do with the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. I think a lot of people are, we'll buy a subscription for this. And I think it spiked it by that much. So Netflix absolutely crushing it early this morning. Closed out the day at 870, currently trading at 1,000, which is where there's quite a bit of open interest. On more of the negative side, they're hiking prices again. Netflix hiked prices on standard and ad-supported streaming plans. I believe that middle package is now going up to $18. It was at $15.50. So we are seeing this across the board. YouTube TV's raising theirs. Netflix is raising theirs. I wouldn't be surprised if all these other streaming and entertainment services, allegedly due to the cost of content, are just going up and up and up. So wanted to quickly let you know about that. United Airlines first quarter outlook outpaces estimates after profit surged the end of 2024. Trump says he's open to a TikTok sale to Elon Musk or Larry Ellison. Don't forget, TikTok was supposed to be banned on Sunday, and then there was basically a 90-day extension. So the Supreme Court said, nope, we're upholding this. It can be banned. It is a national security issue. Just something about the algorithm and really the data, and the data being sent back to ByteDance, which is probably sending it to China. And I get that the TikTok is being run by the CEO Singaporean. I totally get that, but it's owned by ByteDance. And we know that ByteDance has a very close relationship with the CCP. So that's what the concern is. Really, what they're saying here is Elon Musk may be buying it. I don't know why he would when he could literally just re-release Vine. I don't know why he didn't take advantage of this whole craziness in the past week to release Vine. If I were him, and I'm sure his team looked into it, so they must have had a good reason to not do it. But literally a week and 2 days ago, last Monday, I'd be like, hey, TikTok's going to be gone this upcoming weekend. Get your butts back on Vine. That's what I would have been doing. He already has the asset. Twitter, well, now X, is the owner of Vine. They ended up shelving it years ago because at that point, from a financial perspective, Twitter was in trouble and they just didn't have the engineering staff to keep it like alive and running. But at this point, I honestly think that they would have gotten anywhere from 30 to 50 million users within the first week. I truly, truly believe that. So I'm confused as why he didn't do it. Maybe he was thinking about it, and maybe Trump said, no, I have something else going on with TikTok, just because we know Elon and Trump are buddies. But Larry Ellison, we know months ago, Qualcomm was actually saying, we'll buy it. We'll totally get involved in this. And Larry Ellison was at that press conference last night with a slew of other tech people, well-known tech people. So maybe Qualcomm's going to end up being it. You should watch Oracle. ORCL is the ticker. It's looking actually real good. And for not only wow, it's up 10% in pre-market, not only because of this potential TikTok news, but also because of the Stargate announcement. So we're going to be getting into that. But at a press conference last night, President Trump suggested that he's open to the idea of Tesla CEO Elon Musk or Oracle chairman Larry Ellison buying TikTok. Musk was one of Trump's biggest financial backers in 2024 campaign, and Ellison is a longtime supporter. TikTok, which is owned by ByteDance, is the state of limbo in the U.S. after Trump signed an executive order to keep it operating for 75 days. My apologies. Not long ago, I misspoke and I said it was 90 days, so I just need to correct that. I thought it was a 3-month extension, but like I said, I misspoke. It only has really 2.5 months to figure out what in the world it'll be doing. But those aren't the only two people who might buy it. Mr. Beast, the internet's top creator, joins new bid to buy TikTok. YouTube star as part of an investor group run by Tinsley. TikTok has less than 3 months to sell or face a U.S. ban. So that might be another player in here. We know Kevin O'Leary, he might get involved. So there's just a lot of movement in that world. I do want to play a couple things just we got to Stargate last night. That was very important. But I thought this was kind of funny. President Trump, for the first time, actually made public commentary and when he was asked about his own meme coin, old Trump coin.
Benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
Peanuts for these guys, and the guys he was referring to are literally these business moguls, tech billionaires. You have Sam Altman, you have SoftBank being represented, you have Oracle being represented, so OpenAI, I mean, it just keeps going and going. So right here, here's a grok summary of what was announced related to Stargate, which is why semiconductors look so good this morning. President Trump announced the formation of Stargate, a new company aimed at investing $500 billion in AI infrastructure in the U.S., creating over 100,000 jobs. The project is a joint venture between OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, the three we just went over, with an initial investment of $100 billion, scaling to $500 billion over 4 years. The initiative includes building colossal data centers, starting with one in Texas. Key figures include Sam Altman from OpenAI, Larry Ellison from Oracle, who also might be the new owner of TikTok, we don't know yet, and Mayoshi Son of SoftBank, highlighting a significant private sector commitment to AI development within America. So that's why semiconductors and tech as a whole are looking pretty good right now. As I alluded to at the start of today's show, I didn't sell any premium yesterday. Yeah, I was trading on my futures accounts. Oh, market's dropping a little bit right now. I was doing that a little bit, but I ended up having to spend most of the day away from my computer, so I didn't want to really be trading too much in case I had to manage something. So I ended up just not selling any premium. Piper did fire off right before noon, right before lunch. Bullish 4 out of 5 confidence, recommending a SPY and a Q put credit spread above 598, above 520. Those ended up both hitting for a return of $34 for every 366. That would be the minimum capital requirement, and obviously you could scale it up at your heart's desire. This is one of the major things we do in the Goonie Trading Discord, but it's by far not the only thing. But as you can see, I didn't do anything myself. So if you're interested in joining up, not only getting Piper, but all the private lectures that relate to that and other useful things in the world of Bayesian probabilities and just some other market-related things. You get all my other swing trades as well. Obviously, I have an entire swing trade account, which I did add to that yesterday. And also just all the great conversation with the other like-minded traders in there. Your first month is completely free. Try it out for a month. If it's for you, great. Stick around. We would love to have you. If at some point in the month you're like, you know what, it's just not for me, no questions asked whatsoever. You could just cancel your account and you're never going to be charged anyway. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I really think you're going to like it. But even if you don't, it is a riskless opportunity for you. And that's to get into this, you have to be a supporter on Locals. But if you choose to not be a supporter and you just want to be a member, which is a free supportership, you still get a ton of awesome free things, such as this newsletter that will come to your email inbox every single weekend. I break down the previous week, the upcoming week. I give you all the earnings, all the major macroeconomic events, and most likely what you're going to find very useful is the seasonality. So this is leaning bearish just because of how long it's been bearish, really for the first 15 years. But if you go in just recent history, it's actually more so leaning bullish. So the whole data set is showing that this day is bearish, but really the bearishness was from over a decade ago looking backwards, this clear downtrend. If you just took the last couple years, it's actually a lot more bullish. So I just wanted to let you know about that, of depending where you start the data, where you don't start the data. So it's kind of neutral when you look at it like that. But if you look at only the past 5 years, you'd be like, dude, today's actually bullish. So I want to let you know there. Tomorrow is definitely neutral, and then Friday's much more bullish. So those are the seasonality, the stats surrounding all this seasonality for about the past 26 to 27 years. All right, and then that brings us to today, where I already marked out all the key levels. So before we go over this and the game plan for today, let's talk about a couple things. So as you can see right here, shout out to Spot Gamma. Let me zoom out a little bit. Captain Condor is back. We had someone that sold a buttload of call credit spreads. We have someone that sold a buttload of put credit spreads. Most likely this player is the same player. And if you're not familiar with call credit spreads and put credit spreads put together, referred to as an iron condor, hence why we call them iron condors or Captain Condor. This trader is betting that the conclusion of today is somewhere below 6,075, which is where we're slated to open, and somewhere above 6,020. They are betting that we close in between those values. That's the max win, and it's a big max win because they're playing with about 13,000 contracts on each side. So those automatically become key levels just because of the gamma influence on said levels. So that's why we have those marked out. Big upside, I guess, resistance potential target between 6,080, 6,075. That's where, once again, we are currently slated to open. Let me change up this chart just so we can see the exact value as of right now, 6,078. So if the market opened this exact second, we would be right here. This is going to be a big level. If we push above it, next thing is 6,100, which is pretty much the all-time high for the overall market. Now, if we get rejected right here, there's not only a downside gap fill to 6,050, but it's also the closing value and an important options value from yesterday. So watching 6,050 if we get rejected right at open, and then obviously if we don't hold this value, I'm watching 6,020, which is in another important options level that we have a giant gamma influence from this player, the Captain Condor player. So these are all the key levels. I'll leave it up on the screen. I'll leave it up on the, excuse me, sorry, Piper entered the room. She's just chilling. She decided to trade with us today. I know you guys can't see her on your screen, but she is literally right behind me. So anyway, these are the key levels of what you should be watching on the S&P 500 today. Now, obviously, if we get above or below the extremes, I'll map out the new levels for you. But this is exactly what we're talking about. This is where we're slated to open. It's a big level of resistance. Above that, 6,100, which is pretty much the all-time high. And then if we get knocked down, we have the downside gap fill, which you might be able to see a bit better here. So the downside gap fill on the SPY is 6,000 or 603.05, just above 603. On the Qs, it is 526, and then on the Russell there is actually no gap. So we have a downside gap fill on both the SPY and on the Qs. So just want to throw that out there. Obviously those are high-eyed plays. They're not a guarantee play, but what I'm trying to tell you is don't be surprised if early in the session, very similar to yesterday, if there's a bit of profit taking. Now when I say that, we will be able to monitor it in real time just to see if calls are being sold and puts are being purchased, and then like yesterday we might get a reversal at some portion in the morning. So I'll be looking for that, but do not be surprised if right out of the gate people feel the need to take their profits on this very sizable gap up. In terms of individual equities I'm watching, yes, Oracle, yes, Netflix, they have nice gap ups. I'll be watching Coin and MSTR as they relate to Bitcoin. I'll be watching Tesla. It's always a favorite. I'll be watching Nvidia. So there's going to be kind of those classic major tech names to watch today. And one that I'm really thinking about more so putting on my watch list, I don't have it right now, but I see a lot of you guys excited about it, is SoFi. We charted it out not too long ago. Beautiful bullish breakout in continuation. Like I said, I wish I got into it. I was just too busy paying attention to other things, but man, oh man, is this looking pretty strong. If I were in it, if I were any of you degenerate bulls in this one, I would just keep riding the trend. I wouldn't necessarily be entering right now. The entry was basically back on Thursday on this trend line breakout. I wouldn't be chasing now, but if you did take that, congratulations. It is looking good. So that's the layout for this morning. Let me save this. Let me drop this. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's prep everything up because we have about 20 seconds to go. And in those 20 seconds, let me know if you are bullish or bearish on the day. We are obviously slated to have a nice gap up. And I guess my thoughts or my question for all of you is, do you think that this is actually going to hold? Do you think it will successfully hold? And we're going to find out soon. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Wow, it's almost as if we've been here before. The initial profit taking right as the market opens. You should not be surprised by this whatsoever. We've seen it a million times before. We're going to see it a million times again, but profit taking right out of the gate folks, you can't be surprised by this anymore. There's no way you could be surprised by this at this point. We've seen it all of the time. It's just, this is what happens right when there's a gigantic gap up to the tune of 3%, 15%, 1%, 0.6%. People like to lock in their gains. It's a nice gap up. Now, will we keep going to the downside? It depends on how many people decide to take their profit. I mean, I could tell you on the S&P 500, the flow has been going down. On the Mag 7, it's actually picking up. So this is unlike yesterday where the Mag 7 was getting hit and the S&P 500 was actually going up. We're kind of playing the old reversal right here. What is going on right now? I want to make sure that I actually have this all turned on. Okay, I did that. I think it...
Order
I was going to
filled.
say it should be going long, and it just did. Okay, cool. So Skynet is doing Skynet things, just took a long on 2 different positions right there. Let's see how it can perform right out of the gate. Let's see what Skynet's up to. Taking 2 of the 6 accounts, 2 accounts right here, 2 of the 6 accounts, taking a long position on the NASDAQ futures contract, up very quickly, $500 cumulatively, and it's just going to keep riding the trend as long as it possibly can. As long as it possibly can. And I think it's somewhat close to setting a stop to break even. That's the one piece of logic that I was really working on, is a more aggressive movement to putting your stop at break even. If I have to take 30, 40, 50% of my trades at break even, I'll take it. I'm completely cool with that, just because I'm really in this game for that every so often taking that one really, really nice winner. So Skynet doing Skynet things. We're going to let that play out. NVIDIA already bouncing back up. Netflix up a beautiful 11%. You have NVIDIA up 3%. You have Tesla break even, trying to fight back there. Coin is also maybe trying to fight back. Let me know if Coin or MSTR go green on the day. And then also Palantir's been holding strong pretty nicely. Here's the current flow on the S&P 500. Even though price is going up, options flow is still just made a new delta low reading on the day. And then Mag 7 is as strong as could be. The Mag 7 is losing its mind right now. What are just a ton of call buying. As soon as the market opened, 5 seconds into the day, people started degenerately going long on calls, like literally right at market open. So pretty strong opening with respect to the options market on the Mag 7, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Right now, I'm seeing some continuation in the profit taking on the S&P 500. We had some longer duration puts purchased at open, and then the calls are kind of flat. So they're not really taking their call profit, but someone out there is buying puts. And who knows, maybe Captain Condor is already going to start working on, I guess, hedging this position. Captain Condor wants it below 6,075 at the end of the day. And as you can tell, they're already sweating. We literally opened up with that half that position already in danger. So remember, the market is most likely going to have
filled.
What happened? Okay, locked in 302, and now it's short. Wait, no, that's right. Okay, short and short. So rode that up a little bit. Skynet locked in 302, and currently in a short position is what's going on there. Interesting. What time is it? It is 9:34. So it's a little early for me to manually trade right now, but we're going to see what in the world is going on. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a little bit more of a dip just so I could get a better fill, and then I would love for this to rip long. But I do want to let you know Skynet on my two of my 6 take profit accounts did lock in 302, and they're currently riding a short position. And if this keeps going down, I wouldn't be surprised if they all end up going short, all 6, which is actually a perfect time to shout out today's stream sponsor. Shout out to our partner at Take Profit Trader. Right now in the world of SIMDA-funded futures trading, Take Profit Trader, TPT, is running the best deal. If you use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, not only will you no longer have to deal with daily loss limit drawdown rules, but you're also getting out 50% off for life. So use that code GOONIE. Those are the ones that I'm doing this trading on right now. Like right now in real time, you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these are currently actively in a position. I already locked in 2 winning trades right there. But if you're interested in this in real time, if you're looking for a new prop account today for today, Wednesday, January the 22nd. This is the best deal. Use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, 50% off for life. And just on top of all that, they are no longer making traders trade with the daily loss limit. So pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Oop, it is not pinned right now. Let me pin that for you. That is not pinned right now. Let me update it. All right, it is right there. Just make sure to use that code GOONIE. Once again, on checkout, you're going to see GOONIE. You're going to see apply the code. You just type that in, and that's exactly how you could get the 50% off. And those are the ones I'm personally
Order
using.
filled.
And now we're short on all 6. So locked in 302, and then the other ones are actively trading right now, but these are my 6 take profits. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Don't forget to use that code GOONIE. The reason we knew to not get tricked into following this long this morning is because the S&P 500 options flow thus far has not been bullish. Ever since market opened, we are drifting down and down and down. Yes, I am looking myself for the opportunity to buy the dip, but the telltale thing I am looking for is to see if the options flow actually picks up, because thus far today, it has not been looking bullish. Yes, the Mag 7's been looking phenomenally bullish, but that's only one of the 2 criteria I need to consider. There's obviously clear bearishness in the S&P 500, so I am not liking that just because I'm not seeing the bullish aggression come in. I'm seeing slight bearish aggression in the 0DTE. Currently, calls are flat. Just no one is buying calls yet on the S&P 500. At least they're not doing it in size. So the trigger for me, because this is already bullish, the Mag 7's already bullish, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4 hours bullish, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4 hours. I'm seeing a lot of bullishness, but it's not my full checklist quite yet. My full checklist is I need to see some aggression coming in and people buying calls. They're just simply not doing it yet on the S&P 500. Yes, they are clearly doing it on the Mag 7, just not quite yet on the S&P 500. But this might be the start of it right here. Are we turning? What time is it? All right, I need to get ready for my own manual trades. Today might be an early trading day for me. We're gonna lit. What are these current? I am short on all 6 accounts right now. Basically running 6 slight variants of each other. I'm still currently in the testing phase, figuring out what works best, what doesn't work best. And when it comes to me, I like to test stuff in real time just to see how it does or doesn't work out. But these other accounts, the 20 that aren't trading right now, those are the ones that I'm getting ready for. Let me make sure my copy trader is on. My copy trader is successfully on. I've been messing that up quite a bit lately. I just want to get ready to see, like, if the market presents it, I really want that buy the dip opportunity. The Mag 7's crazy strong. SPX has been getting hit. I don't think this is going to last for long, though. I think the 5-minute, the 10-minute could easily bounce off their 50 EMAs, the 30-minute and the 4-hour strong. The NASDAQ is completely strong across the board. It's strong on equities. Looking at this level, we're right in a big decision zone. If this can hold and pop, I think we are legitimately talking about going up to 6,100, which is a key technical level, a key psychological level, a key options level. It's also within spitting distance of the all-time high. So I'm just waiting to see if the market presents me with that opportunity. Right now, options are still weak. They're still clearly weak. So I'm just not getting that set up yet. Right now, price is consolidating, and I'm hoping that on a breakout of price, that will be associated with a breakout in options right here. In fact, maybe I should put this over on this screen so I can watch it a bit more closely. I think we are going to be presented with a nice buying opportunity today. I just don't see it yet. And maybe it's not going to be presented at all. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing right now. I just know that I need to be patient and wait for that opportunity to actually get in. I just need to be a bit patient. All right, we might as well mark out the intraday high at this point. Where are we at? All right, blue. The Qs are catching a bit of a bid. Okay. Clear consolidation in the SPY, and the reason it's just not going yet is because there's no positive delta flow into the S&P 500 complex. There's quite a bit of positive flow into the Mag 7. Well, actually just there, taking a little bit of a hit, but I will not be chasing this yet. At some point, I might end up chasing it, but ooh, Netflix and Nvidia are picking up right here. Coin somehow got into the green. Let me know if that gets above 300.
Order filled.
Oh, brother.
Order filled.
It picked up a little bit there. Is that enough? Is this what I was looking for? You heard the order filled thing. I believe long 55. Sell. It's not long.
Order submitted.
Oh, okay. I know what's going on. That account. Remove. It got messed up, disconnected. It got out of sync between the position and the actual account position. So what are we doing right now? It looks like they're all long. Small losses thus far across the board. Looks like it's trading a bit early, and the S&P 500, yep, there was a little pop right there, but it's quickly getting faded. I guess we're just waiting to see. We're just waiting to see if those bulls ever step up. Right now, we are just simply not seeing aggressive call buying. If you're looking on Spot Gamma, let me let's do this. So the orange line are calls, the blue line are puts. No one's touching calls. Calls are flat. They're not buying them. They're not really selling them, but they are buying puts. You're seeing that the put delta is dropping, which adds negative delta to the overall options complex. And when you're adding this much negative delta, well, it forces the market makers to hedge by selling the underlying, as in they're selling the SPY. So right here, I'm watching the total delta movement. We're just not seeing aggression on calls, and we are seeing thus far aggression on puts. So to me, it's just not, we're not quite at that opportunity to really go long. But what's interesting on this is if you look at what's happening in the Mag 7, completely different story. No one's touching puts on the Mag 7. Once again, these 7 equities right here highlighted above my head, but they are going long on calls. So we are seeing aggression in tech, which makes sense because tech is looking pretty good. And when we've seen this before, and this isn't the end all be all, of course, you could find a counterexample. Eventually, historically, from what I've experienced and what I've journaled and what I've tracked, this does lead to a good buying opportunity. It's just a question of when. It doesn't mean that I'm just going to arbitrarily throw in right now at all, but it means I'm looking for that dip buy opportunity. And then especially when I pair that with the fact that the 10-minute and the 30-minute are green, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and actually the 4-hour are green on the ES and the NQ. I'm just waiting for that dip. I'm basically waiting to see how the market participants battle this out, because we're in that key level, which is closely associated with this Captain Condor right here. Sold calls at 6,075, protective leg at 6,080. This is a call credit spread. This player very much wants the market below 6,075 at the end of the day if they hold a position. And right now that player is feeling quite a bit of pain, excuse me. If this player right here, if the call side of Captain Condor decides to cut that position, that is just going to then allow this to break up and most likely target 6,100 all the way up here. So that's another thing I'll be monitoring to see if this player dumps the call side of the Iron Condor. Tesla's taking a bit of a hit. All right, I'm just getting back to the normal view. All right, we're popping a little. Is this the dip? Is this the dip? Oh, come on. Reload for me. Reload for me. All right, Mag 7 still looking pretty good. Tilting a little bit here, but overall still to the upside. And we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. The question is it a dead cat bounce? But there is some positive delta flow. I would assume it's puts being monetized. It is right here. Puts being monetized as in closed out. People were long puts. Now they are having to sell them, which adds positive delta to the system. Little bit of a bounce. Could be an early fake out, or it could be the early sign of a reversal. NVIDIA looking really good. Tesla getting hit. Coin is back at break even. Palantir is up 2%. Netflix is doing what? Sold, but now flat. NVIDIA's looking really good. Is this it? Are we turning here? Mag 7 flow's looking good. I see that flow picking up. All right, let's rip it.
Order filled.
Did it work on all of them? Are they all trading? Okay, so I'm long on the accounts I manually trade. So let's see how this goes. The idea here for what I'm attempting to do is I waited for my signal of the options to go positive. The flow is negative, 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 then potentially showed signs of going positive. That's what I used, and it might be right. It might be wrong. Obviously, I'm going to have risk in mind. If it starts to dip against me, if it's a fake out, I'll get out. And I mean, you guys saw me have to do multiple trades yesterday. Yes, there are fake outs, but at least I'm stacking the deck in my favor. I'm increasing the probabilities of me being right by waiting for those signals. So I was waiting, and then basically as I saw this show
Order
a bit
filled.
of what was that? Oh, it was Skynet. Okay, Sky 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Skynet is long on all 5 versions right now, so that actually makes me even more comfortable. So the current position down a little bit. I'm long at 67. Currently trading, I'm down about 10 points, but that's within the normal variance of trading, especially at market open. I see the market taking a hit right here, but the options are actually holding steady. I see Mag 7 taking a bit of a breather, so that's leading to a little bit of this sell-off. You can see right here, the delta's dropping. So hopefully whoever this, what is it actually specifically? So there's some calls being monetized. Some early morning call buyers just at 10:46 decided to lock in some of those profits. You see that positive delta dropping a little bit. So that doesn't bother me. It's not like all of a sudden bears started stepping in. It's just someone monetized it. So this is just a natural thing that I'm going to have to hold through. And then right here, what's making me actually happy is the fact that the S&P 500 delta is seemingly not plummeting anymore. Granted, it's not going up, but at least we're not getting this vomit that we did for the first 13 minutes of the day. So this was the exact thing I was looking for my potential entry. Whenever you're playing, you're not going to be 100% right. Obviously, you're not going to be 100% right, but the goal is to have a good risk reward setup. I have well-defined risk. Don't mind that at all. I have a good setup. I believe I'm trading with the overall trend. So basically the die are in the air, and it's not going to work every time. If you're thinking that you're going to make money on every single trade, not even Nancy Pelosi can pull that off. Not even Inverse Kramer can pull off making money on every single trade. The goal of it is the percentage of time you're right multiplied by your average win side, and then you take away the percentage of the time you're wrong by your average loss size. That's your expected value. That's what you want to be positive. And I know that my system, through very, very aggressive back testing and simulating and modeling, it is positive. So I just take it, and when it all washes out after a large series of trades, I'm hoping that the historic performance is like kind of indicative of what I could expect in the future. So at this point, I marked out the current intraday high, the current intraday low. I'll put up on alerts just in case we get a breakout or breakdown when I'm not paying attention. I don't want you guys to miss out on this key level, so we'll have a bit of auditory feedback right there. So marking out the intraday high, marking out the intraday low. The delta is dropping a little bit, not the biggest fan of that. How are we looking on the Mag 7? Mag 7 is doing what? It's also flat. So right now, both delta flows are a bit flat. So at least that selling seemed to stop, and I'm looking for the breakout at 606.08, and I'm looking for the cues to tick out 531.20. And then right here, we are successfully above this region that I mapped out for you. We opened right in it, pushed above, got smacked into it. The market said, hey, what are we doing? What are we not doing? Now, if we take out this high, it very much brings up a potential test within like 5-ish points of 6,100. This will be my key level. That's a nice extra $2 push in the SPY. So that's what I'll be watching in the short term to see if this can get some nice flow behind it. What's the options flow looking like? All right. And actually, where would that lead us on the daily on the SPY? So the all-time high in the SPY, for those of you who want the SPY level, it is 609. 609. So that's actually about $3 higher than where we are right now. All right. All right. And we are potentially off to the races. How are we looking? Up 400 on each account. Nice. All right, we did a little bit of that. I am checking some other things just to see how degenerate I may or may not be at the moment. Right. Call 31st. Oh, what strikes do I care about? What strikes do I care about? All right. I added some swing plays. If you are in the Discord, I'm taking a quick screenshot right now, and later after the show, I'll happily explain what the hell I'm doing. But I also should remind everyone that volatility is expiring this morning. It is a Wednesday, an important Wednesday. So obviously don't forget that. But if you are in the Discord, I'm posting a picture right now into Swingers. There it is. Obviously, Piper has not fired yet, but I did see an opportunity I like. So I added 2 new positions onto the existing 2. And what is this? 66. Oh, how do I want to play this? Is 22,000 flat going to be a big level? Oh, man. What profit target should I have today? What profit target should I care about today? All right.
Order submitted.
I'm putting in my max profit target. Obviously, I would love for that to be hit. I would love for it to be hit while I'm hanging out with all you cool cats and kittens. But if it starts to turn earlier, I'm also going to have to consider that, which I was not so adept at handling yesterday. So I'm trying to learn from some of my silly mistakes yesterday and just be a little bit more reasonable with my break-even stop if the market starts to turn against me. Right now, Skynet's crushing it. My personal trades are all up about 600. And Skynet's 500, 300, 500, 300, 500. So 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So Skynet doing Skynet things, manual trades doing manual trade things. The overall options flow is looking good. So the SPY and the Qs already made a new intraday high. You probably heard those alerts going off. So let's set up a potential reversal sound. The reversal would be right there. So right now, the potential reversal, if there is one, I hope there isn't one, but there might be one. And then also the intraday low, just in case something crazy happens. Netflix not looking the most exciting. Nvidia is looking really good right now. Unfortunately, Tesla's getting hit down 1.2%. You have Coin that also got hit. I would love for this to take out 300. Palantir's up a beautiful 2%, holding strong. Microsoft's looking good. Apple's break even, not vomiting like it was yesterday. ASML just charging upwards. Meta up 1%, getting a pop right there. Broadcom up 1.5. Amazon also up. Google up. XRP slightly down. You have Solana trading at 256, so it is puking a little bit, but still green on the day. You have Texas Roadhouse just below 180. How's SoFi doing? SoFi got hit a bit this morning, but holding now. And what about Qualcomm? Qualcomm is off to the races today, similar to Netflix. So how are we doing? I'm holding this. It looks like right now, unrealized, I'm up about $12,000 on these accounts I'm manually trading. Do I want to set? Yeah, I need to not be stupid like I was yesterday. Sell stuff. All right, so I'm putting in my stop. So my stop's in, so I'm not going to lose money on this. Obviously, I would love to lock in 20 grand and be done with my futures trading on the day. Yes, I'm going to let the bots run wild just because why not? But for my manual trading, these top 20 accounts, I'm either going to hit this profit target or my stop's going to get hit. Those are pretty much the two major options that could be playing out. So with a little bit more of a push right here, your boy might be looking pretty. For those of you who are more short to medium term swing traders, if we can hold here, which we did take out that high, I think 6,100 is very much in play today. I think it is very, very, very much in play today if we can hold this intraday high. So I want to call that level out to you, especially if you see this continuation of aggressive delta movement to the upside. That makes it even more likely that we all go all the way up here. And to clarify, that is effectively the all-time high on the S&P 500. So that would be bringing the SPY all the way up to 609. So if you're looking for a swing target, maybe it hits today, maybe it takes a couple days, but obviously the more this goes, the more aggression you see in this delta flow, the more likely it is that we are charging right up to this level. So just want to call that out to everyone. Here are my current trades. How are we looking? Come on, let's hit it. Let's hit it, Tonto. Let's hit it, Tonto. Let's hit it, Tonto. Come on. Come on. Come on. Sing the words if you know them.
Strolling down the block, gold chain swinging free, leather seats in the caddy feeling VIP. Pocket full of cash, yeah, the game's on lock. Boots hitting pavement, shaking up the block.
Come on.
Corner hustle, got the crew on patrol.
Come on.
Living fast, no one playing the role. Ladies flocking, they know the deal. Got them hooked, every move so surreal.
Here we go. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it, brother. You can do it, sister.
Pinky fingers high. Watch the city lights reflect in my eye.
Bada bing, bada boom. 20K.
Street ballers play. Cruising through the night. Neon lights glow.
Dude, best trader ever to do it. No one does it this way. No one has the balls that I have. And then the take profits run in. Dude, easy. 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 Ripping it. 20K locked in. Called out perfectly to you. Called out before the market opened. Explained to you what I was looking for when the market opened. You saw the entry. You saw the exit. You saw the man. Dude, who's doing it like this? Who is doing? No one is putting together a live degenerate show like this for all of you. I read fucking prophecies here. Truly, Mason, you know what's up. Best trader on this side of the Mississippi. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Another 20K locked in live in front of your faces. I actually do not believe that there is a prop trader this calendar year who's doing better than I am. How many contracts did I play? I played one, but on 20 accounts, so technically 20 contracts, but one per account, and I have 20 individual accounts. I believe this calendar year, from January 1st until now, I am the best prop trader on this entire planet. Most likely within this galaxy. We have to check in on a couple other planet systems, but definitely on the planet. Most likely within the galaxy, and then we're going to be expanding our search to the entire Milky Way here soon. But yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. For sure. What other songs do we have in here? What's this song? What is this? This is called The Return of the Pump.
It's the return of the pump. It continues. It's the return of the pump.
Skynet.
Return of the pump. Return of the pump. Return of the pump.
Nvidia's turning a bit here. I kind of want to play this one song. I don't know if I've heard this one yet. This is The Ballad of Cat Moores.
Oh, Cat Moores, what a fool Addicted to gambling, letting trouble in. You lost every dime, thought you hit rock bottom, but you sold your kidney, bet it all. Begotten Cat Moores, you played
Sing
with
the words if you
fire
know 'em.
and temptation at bay. All odds against you, but you refuse to fade. Put it all on black. A desperate move so bold, and Lady Luck's smile, she broke the mold. Oh, Cat Moores, what a wild ride you had. From the depths of despair to a gambler gone mad. But your luck turned around, you won it back. You're the man of the hour, Cat Moores.
This
That's
is
a
a-
fact.
Stopped at 9:25. Options are long and strong. Long and strong.
Oh, Cat Moores, what a fool you've been. Addicted to gambling, letting trouble in. You lost every dime, thought you hit rock bottom, but you sold your kidney, bet it all. Begotten, God, all you had from the depths of despair to a gambler gone mad, but your luck turned around. You won it back.
Order
You're
filled.
the man.
Order filled.
You're
Lock it
the
in.
man. You're the
Skynet.
politician scheming.
What is this one? So that one was the Ballad of Cat Moores. This one is corruption. All right, let's see what this one's about.
Playing dirty game. Insider trading. Ain't that a shame?
It just makes you want to rip a cig outside, you know?
Struggling to survive. It's a crying shame. Money's flowing behind closed doors. They're playing with fire, but they want some more. We the people can't take this no more. Time to rise up.
This is some
even the score.
market soul
Say
stuff
they
going on.
represent us, but it's all a lie. Making deals in shadows while we wonder why they profit from our struggles, while we barely get by. It's time to expose them, make them testify. Make them testify.
Apple got sold there for a second. Tesla's been going down all day. Coin got sold pretty hard on that. Meta and Microsoft are actually really strong with all this. All right, let's pause this for a second. Let's pause this for a second to see if I should be doing anything. Oh, I do not like the flow of certain tickers here. I do not like the flow. Meta is picking up. Let's open up a daily chart. Do I like Meta? Has some nice flow on it. It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. Oh, how do I want to play? How do I want to play Meta? How do I want to play Meta? Meta, 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 Meta. Whoa. All right, so Meta had some strong flow on it. Microsoft had some decent flow, but Meta had really strong flow. Tesla's getting hammered. Coin got hammered. Amazon kind of actually took a hit as well. Apple is trying to recover from yesterday. Google got hit. So what's standing out to me in the tech names are Meta and Microsoft. Mostly Meta, but Microsoft is looking good too, actually. How is price looking right now? Meta. Meta. All right, I got to do some rebalancing over here. I'm not happy with the trend of certain things. All right, if you're in the Discord, I just made some sizable changes. I'm taking a quick screenshot. Piper has yet to fire. Don't worry about that. But Piper will most likely be firing soon. All right, doing a little bit of repositioning, a little bit of rebalancing on that. A little bit of rebalancing on this. Piper. Pippity Pipeter.
Order filled.
That is probably it going bullish once again. I could check that in a second.
Order filled.
Yep, we are definitely. All right. That's in there. Let me switch this up. I might have to do some premium selling myself. How do I want to play this today? Is this ever going to fill? SPY, new intraday high. Q's getting very close. Meta picking up. Qualcomm holding it nicely. I should actually add Qualcomm to my watch list there, just so we can track what in the world's going on with it. Let's move Meta up. Let's move Qualcomm up. Nvidia's already there. Good. All right. These seem to be some of the big moving ones. Why did my order not fill? Why did it not fill? Really? I came in below. All right, I'm not getting the exact fills I would love to be getting on my premium selling right now. That's a bit of a bummer. All right, I just forced it to go through, so I dropped it a little bit just to get into the position that I want to be into. All right, we are rocking right now. Let me just take one more screenshot, and I think we're good. Skynet's taking care of Skynet. I already did my futures trades. I updated my swing positions, and I already sold my premium. So I think now, today, I ideally just sit back and let it collect. Ideally, we are playing today on easy mode now. Ideally, we're going to see. We're going to see. The SPY made a new intraday high right there. The Qs almost did. Meta's showing some strength. Qualcomm did pop, coming back down a little bit. Nvidia pop, gave back a little bit, seems to be fighting back its way up. Netflix just chilling about $15 below 1,000, $985 right now, still holding up 13%. Tesla, kind of unique in how weak its flow is today. So we're seeing, if we break apart the Mag 7, it's always interesting to me where the Mag 7 could be this strong, and then you have something that's doing the exact opposite. Tesla's in the Mag 7. Tesla's just been getting hit pretty hard. So not the biggest fan of that. If you look at something like Coin, similar situation, really dropped right there. And then just to show you the exact opposite, Meta's crazy strong. Everyone's bullish on Meta right now. Microsoft, pretty strong. Even Apple, which was getting slaughtered yesterday, showing a bit more strength. Amazon and Google, same thing, strength this, and then a little bit of a dip, and then kind of giving, it gave some back, and now it's once again showing strength. But wait, what was that right there? Look at Amazon. Amazon, huge pop, someone tried to hit it, and now it's just ripping back to the upside. So Amazon, there's probably potential opportunity there. AMZN. Oh, look at that. That's a new all-time high. Amazon is literally showing strength into its new all-time high. So not only did price go up, but options hitting a huge positive delta value. So Amazon's looking good if you're an Amazon person. How's SoFi doing? I know more and more of you are talking about that. Q's, what just happened there? Q's new intraday high. All right, we'll do the reversal alert. All right, so right now I have the reversal alert set up, the intraday low set up. Meta's looking good. Tesla's not looking so hot. Netflix, it's holding, but not really doing anything. Intraday, Coin, not really doing anything. MSCR maybe fighting back a little bit. DJT got hit yesterday, down an additional 2%. Rum actually had a nice recovery yesterday, down 17 cents right now. Palantir not doing much intraday, had a nice gap though. Microsoft's looking good. Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Qualcomm, they're all having very positive options flow. Very positive options flow. So those are some of the major things I'm watching right now personally. I do break these things down in the update videos. Quick question, and I don't mean this rhetorically. I mean this like actually. In the daily update videos, what do you guys want me to start including that you think would make it better that I'm not doing at this moment in time? So the daily update videos, and for those of you who don't know, not only do we do the 9 to 11 show Monday to Friday, but we also do daily recap videos just for the things that happen after the show's over and what to prep for the next trading day. What other things do you want in those daily update videos? What's the Mag 7? It's just the 7 major tech stocks. Matt, SMCI, yeah, it's another semiconductor play. The whole semiconductor industry is doing well today. That SMCI is not like a standout thing. Not a standout thing. It's the whole like sector. Just look at SMH. SMH, this is the ETF for semiconductors, and SMH is actually pushing upwards to this almost 271 upside gap fill. Political recap. I do that. Explain what indicators you use, specific settings. Well, I mean, there's nothing. It's just EMAs. These are just EMAs right now. Shower crying cam. That's on my OnlyFans. Do you trade with an IRA money? No, but I do have an IRA. I have tax advantage retirement accounts that I just invest in. I don't actively trade in those. In my mind, it's just not really worth it. Like I just invest. Maybe a trade breakdown review. I can include that. I kind of do it with you guys in the morning because I think it's better to learn from the stuff in real time. But maybe for the people who miss the show, just to do a really quick trade recap. But I find that teaching about trading, like the actual, like this is where I'm getting in, this is where I'm getting out, that type of stuff should be done live because everyone's a genius with hindsight, you know. Drawing out some plays like flag patterns plays you'd recommend. I do talk about that. I mean, even yesterday, I'm like, these are the stocks I am watching tomorrow. Someone said Coin's getting a little bit of a push. Coin. Yeah, a little pop right there. How's it looking in options? The options weren't looking so good, but they're coming back. Yeah, it got hit pretty hard right here. I'm not in love with that options flow. If I were bullish on it, I'd prefer it to actually look like Meta right now or Amazon right now. Like that's a clear sign of bullishness. How is Qualcomm looking on options flow? Pretty strong. What about NVIDIA? Someone was just asking about that. NVIDIA, not as strong as you'd think. It was strong up until about 9:52, about a half hour strength, but since then, pretty flat. The flow turned off. Once again, it seems like just for today, as of right now, Meta and Amazon seem to be outpacing the rest of the tech sector. Here's a look in general of the Mag 7, strong and now just drifting to the upside. Here's a look at the S&P 500. Dipped until about 943, which is right where I took my long position. And then this is exactly what I wanted to see. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if it was even stronger. These dips are being associated with profit taking, but we do have So right here, you see the calls drop. That's exactly the dip at 10:02, and then it shows more strength and starts going again. Yeah, that makes sense. So coin did pick up. It did pick up. Meta's looking good. Meta. Where's QCOM? Where's the QCOM? Here it is. QCOM. QCOM's actually coming down a little bit right now. What about NVIDIA? Okay. Netflix actually giving up a little bit. Tesla not looking so hot. Coin did get a nice pop. I am looking for, at this point, if you are a Meta trader, I'm now actively looking for Meta to take out 632 and then take out the all-time high of 638. It does seem like it's on its way to do that. A little triple bottom situation, slightly higher lows, setting up nice options flow. This would be a top watch play for me for sure. Qualcomm, that's a nice daily breakout. NVIDIA, that's a nice daily breakout. I would appreciate a little bit more positive flow, but still looking good from a price action standpoint. Tesla not doing anything. Coin trying to recover, but it was a weird day yesterday for coin. MSCR not doing much. DJT actually not holding the 50 EMA. That's not so good. RUM is trying to hold that daily trend line. Palantir showing strength. We've called this one out multiple times. Palantir is one strong equity right now. Microsoft, fake out breakdown leading to a breakout. Let's see if this is real and keeps pushing. Apple trying to stop the vomit. ASML looking phenomenal. Broadcom also looking pretty good. Intraday, it's giving some back, but this is a nice trendline breakout. Another one worthwhile to put on your watch list. Amazon, new all-time high. Google, all-time high yesterday. Not that far away from it today. Ripple consolidating. Solana consolidating. Texas Roadhouse consolidating. Bonds trying to bounce, but overall still down. Oil giving some back after the commentary from Trump. Gold actually trendline breakout. And then the yield curve dipping a little bit. Here we go. SPY getting a pump right there. SPY getting a nice pump right there. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, mi amigos. Hell yeah, mi amigos. Okay, don't forget, today's stream partner is Take Profit Trader, TPT. Daily loss limits are now gone. Get 50% off for life. Use the code Goonie when checking out. It is pinned to the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. It is the accounts that I am still actively trading right now, up 200, 100, 200, 100, 100. So actively trading right there. You can see one of the 5 that I'm trading. Took a long position. It got stopped out of the long, went short, and then was forced to revert back to being long. So I think there's still a little bit more improvement, but at least I did take care of that issue that I had yesterday where it was trading too many contracts. So it seems like the one major bug I had yesterday, it is now resolved. So one big issue taken care of, and now I need to make it not go short on these like little potential pullbacks. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking into. But 2 of the accounts are doing very well, up 1,000, and then these ones are down 600 and down 1,200. So I'm going to dive into that. Like I said, I'm running about 6 slightly different variants. I'm doing some testing, seeing what I like, and right now the reason I'm doing it on take profit accounts versus another SIMDA funded trader is just because this is currently the best deal. So if you are interested in trading with someone else's money, I would say do the one that has a good rule set for you and is also currently running the best deal. And right now in real time, Take a Profit Trader is running the best deal, but obviously to get the deal, you have to use that code Goonie. The SPY is pushing. Coin had a nice pop. Meta's now flat. Meta, Qualcomm, NVIDIA. Netflix is giving back those gains. Tesla, a little bit of a pop right there. Coin, MSTR, DJT, RUM. Palantir is looking nice too. Palantir is really showing some strength. Oh snap, I forgot I have the Texas Roadhouse gift card I need to use. Hey, it happens, man. That's the good news. Okay, so while I'm waiting this play out, I gave you my full plans. I called this out before the market opened. I explained it when the market was open. I said this was support. I let you know where we were opening. I'm letting you know about the levels. This was all called out in real time to you, and I traded it myself. I put my money where my mouth is. That's how I locked in $20,000 already this morning. So with it, I still think there's room to go. Maybe it gets hit a little bit early just because some people like to front run these exits, but I'm still looking for this test of 6,100, which is just below the all-time high for the S&P 500. So that's what I'm looking for. And as we're waiting to see if this plays out, especially as we have other exciting things going on like Qualcomm and Netflix and Palantir and Meta and Bitcoin and Trump coin and all that jazz, this is the perfect time. All my positions are already in there. I'm feeling pretty stable on the day, so I have more time to dedicate to answering your questions. So folks, let them rip. What's on your mind? Questions, comments, concerns about the Discord, sim-to-funded trading, take profit trader, when I trade options, any questions about public, any questions about the new YouTube video, any questions about, I don't know. What's on your mind? Let me help you by answering whatever's on your question. We're doing a little bit of an impromptu AMA thing right now. What is on your mind? Boeing, boxers or briefs? Boxers. How's Microsoft doing? Looking pretty good. Who is Matt? Metaphysically, no one knows. You still in your TLT trade? Nope. I cut that and swapped it in my that actually is in my retirement account. Someone quickly asked about Boeing. Let's just do a quick one on this. Boeing, actually nice recovery, trend line test, bouncing. This is actually going from a bearish phase to a bullish phase. Look at the financial of PL. What are your thoughts on this one? To do a full financial breakdown is going to take a lot more time than this. I mean, I could do a quick look. Not so good. They are burning money. The chart is looking better. It's going to take far more time to do like a full fundamental breakdown, so this isn't the appropriate time for it. The chart's looking strong, but it doesn't pay a dividend, which that's neither here nor there. But it is burning money every single quarter. So I'd be like a little bit. I'd want to see the phase of business that it's in and why it's burning so much money and what's happening there. So I don't know anything about it off the top of my head from its fundamentals, so I'd have to look into it. But from a price action standpoint, nice bullish explosion, lower highs, same lows, trying to break out. I'd be looking for that. But this is just another penny stock. I don't like penny stocks. This seems like it was a failed SPAC deal that popped, got blown up, came all the way down. There's very, very few SPAC deals that are worth your time. This is most likely not one of them. As an active trade, it has range. So for swing traders, this is probably a pretty solid play, especially if you could get in for minimal risk. But as something that I would just like arbitrarily invest in and hope that it's good, no, it's burning a lot of money. I'd have to look at its debt situation. I'd have to look at the prospects of the industry that it's in. But I would assume like your base assumption on any of this stuff should be that it's not good, and it should have to convince you otherwise that it is legitimately good. What's the Discord link? It's all in the folks. I mean, when I say questions, like ask somewhat of like sensible questions. Literally just go into the description if you want the Discord link. I mean, that should be your natural first place to look. It would have taken you less effort to just open the description and see that it's literally the second link rather than asking me. Like, I mean, if that's I have a feeling that if something as minimal as finding a Discord link for a trading Discord, if that's the thing that stymies you, you probably don't have that like self-drive to actually to do what you need to do in trading. Advice for a complete noob, where do I start? Start with paper trading. Do not use real money. Even the most experienced traders have bad runs and have bad patches and can blow a lot of money. As a noob, start with a paper account. And I would say really a thing that I wish I did in my trading career to get going is I wish I started on day one by reading the book, The Long-Term Secrets of Short-Term Trading. It's by Larry Williams. Once again, The Long-Term Secrets of Short-Term Trading by Larry Williams. I wish every starting trader just started with that because it gets you to think about the market in the proper mental framework, as in think about it as like there's a certain distribution of probabilities and good discussion on risk and reward and developing your own system. So I think that's just a good place to like really, really just be like, okay, this is what trading is. When in the Discord, are we able to communicate with you verbally and learn how to short? I'm interested in shorting, but I have no clue how to do it. I mean, I'm in the Discord most days, so if you have questions, generic questions about shorting, yeah, but I mean, how to short? You literally just hit the sell button. There's not like the way you go long is by hitting the buy button. The way you go short is by hitting the short, like the sell button. Like there's not some like big secrecy to it. It's not like you have to solve a Rubik's Cube to be able to go short. If you know how to go long, you literally just do the opposite and go short. Can you walk us through the consistency rule? Yeah, so most of the time on these SIM-to-funded companies, a consistency rule is no individual day can account for like too much of your overall profit. So most of them are at 30%. So let's just say for the ease of math that you make $1,000. That means no individual day can be more than 30% of that, which would be 300. So if you have a day that is more than 300, let's just say 310, technically you broke that rule because your largest individual day's profit accounts for more than 30% of your total profit. So if you do that, all that means you have to do is get more total profit because as your total profit goes higher and higher and higher, the individual day profit will be diluted because all of a sudden, let's say you're at $1,000 in profit and your biggest day is 310. Well, that's 31%. But if you were able to go from $1,000 in total profit to $2,000 over the next X trading days, all of a sudden that individual day now only counts for 16% of your total profit. So, I mean, that's all pretty well laid out in FAQs. I know that there's confusion about it on like Twitter and stuff, but the math behind it is like really not that difficult. It's just no individual day's profit can account for more than 30% of your total profit. Where's the Discord link? If you can't find it, the Discord's probably not for you. If you're asking how to go short, you need to do some more reading before you start doing anything. Yeah, I would, folks, some of these introductory questions, and hey, we're all there. At a certain point, it's not like this is knowledge that people are just generically born with. I get that we all have to learn these at one point, but if that's the level of questions you're coming in with, I highly, 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 highly recommend using a paper trading account, as in not using real money, because there's just so many things that you have to do and learn and wrap your head around to be a successful trader. So if you're coming in with those types of rudimentary questions, and like I said, that's all right. We're all there. At one point in our trading career, that totally happens. But I'm telling you, if that's the stage you're in, please use a paper trading account. It's going to save you money. I mean puts, not shorting, Matt. My bad. You just buy puts. The way you buy calls, you buy puts. Dan, these questions, use a paper trading account. I'm telling you, I beg you, I am begging you to not use real money, because if this is where you're currently at in your trading career, to be confusing short with buying puts and to not know how to do it, but if you allegedly know how to go long or buy calls, someone said puts is shorting. It is not shorting. They can theoretically benefit off of a similar move, but being long puts is not shorting. There's other complexities involved in owning puts that you have to consider, that involve a time aspect that you don't really necessarily have to consider in shorting. So they can both be profitable off of a similar movement, but being long puts, owning puts, is not the same as shorting. I use Discord. I just can't find it here. That's on you, dude. I don't know. Dan, I lost 20 K trying to learn how to play. Just get a paper account. I'm begging you. Yeah. Like, options are tough to learn at first. There's like an awkwardly steep learning curve to options. So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad about that whatsoever. But I'm telling you, if you're still on your way trying to figure out that learning curve, I'm going to save you a bunch of money by like getting you to just use a a paper account. Do not use. Add SPX to Piper. I mean, it's already on SPY and they are the exact same thing. You just have to associate the similar levels. But the reason the inherent signals on Piper are SPY and Qs are because the data ends at 4 p.m., which is market close. While if you buy SPX data, the last tick is actually at 4:15, but that's not good because the options actually expire at 4. So it has to do with the expiration because it is 0 DTE. Unless you want to short AMC, no experience required for that trash. I would not want to short anything today. Definitely wouldn't short the overall market, but I'm sure there's a ton of individual equities. Like generically, if you pick out a random penny stock, it's probably more worthwhile to short it than to go long. Penny stocks are penny stocks for a reason. I'm going to switch you a bunch of money by switching to Geico. Shout out, John. Just realized I was on a 1 minute delay. Turfs. Is there a paper trade brokerage that allows tier 3 options trading? It might be kind of dependent on where you are with that. Like as in what brokers generically are available to you. I don't know about tier 3 off the top of my head, Turf. I can research that and get back to you. I know there's a lot that do tier 1 option trading for paper trading. But for tier 3, I'd have to do a little bit of research. I don't know it off the top of my head. I did not start my options trading career with paper trading, which cost me a lot of money. But I did start my futures trading career with paper trading, and that saved me a lot of money. No joke, my first futures trade of ever, didn't know what it was, didn't know what contracts were. I barely got gold to show up on my screen, didn't know anything about futures trading at all. And thankfully, it was a paper trading account. So I think the sim account, you just arbitrarily start with $1 million of fake money. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I just bought as many gold contracts as I possibly could. And the next day when I woke up to check out my paper account, I think I was up $300,000. That was my first trade. Well, technically not a real trade, but you get what I'm saying. Of all time. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't even understand the concept of futures contracts and why I needed the weird symbols and numbers ever. So that took me a while. That took me like 20 minutes to figure out. But as soon as I got the current gold contract out of my screen, I just bought just to see what would happen. And I woke up and it said plus 300,000. So that was when was that? My first futures trade must have been back circa 2018, I want to say, is my first futures trade. My first options trade was 2016, maybe 17. So futures came a little bit later. Options were before that. My first stock trade, oh, you guys are making me feel old, was 2011, maybe 2010. I think 2011. My first stock trade was 2011. My first options trade was 2017. My first futures trade was 2018. My first binary option. This is how much of a degenerate I am. My first binary options trade was actually 2015. I was trading binary options before I was trading normal options or futures. And before that, my first crypto trade was 2010. So actually in my career, I've never thought about it this way. In terms of the assets that I've traded, it went stocks, crypto, binary options, and then futures. And I've never really traded Forex yet. When I was trading binary options, it was on Forex pairing. So technically that's Forex, but I've never done like straight up Forex. Didn't you just turn 30? I did turn 30. My life's pretty much over. Life's over at 30. I have nothing to look forward to. It's just, dude, at 30, you're just done. Are you familiar with nano nuclear? They've risen 700% in a year. Nope. But also, if you're up 700% in a year, this is retail trading, we're always perpetually wrong. Like that right there. Are you familiar with nano nuclear? It's up 700%. That means leave it. You're done. You missed it. If something's up 700%, Not even late. You were comically late. That means, oh, okay, cool. Congrats to the people who got into it, but it's not for you. Not for you whatsoever. Why would you chase something up 700%? Should you skip options and go to futures? No, they're different. I mean, right now, most of my trading are futures and options. Like I do both. I think futures are going to be easier. So, there's really no time decay aspect or really volatility aspect to futures. So I think that makes it easier because it's just less things you have to learn about. There are weird things you have to learn about, like the contracts and the rollovers, but you can learn that in a day or two. You can learn that in like one weekend of studying. So that's a bit easier because you don't have to worry about like vol crush. You don't have to worry about the theta decay. So that makes it a bit easier. So I think it's easier to like for a mind to get wrapped around futures. And then when you get to options, unfortunately, the best way to start options is to start with credit spreads. But to understand credit spreads, which is where you should start, it means you have to start with not only options that are complex, but you have to start with a complex option strategy. So that's like the catch-22 of options. Is the best place for any options trader to start is with a kind of an advanced option strategy. So that's where you should. So that maybe that just means you stay on a paper account for longer. Just keep paper trading until you understand what credit spreads are. But the best way to really like, if I laid it out and let's just say you already understood all of options, you should start with trading credit spreads. Then if you understand credit spreads, maybe from there you can move on to debit spreads. Then you can move on to applying credit spreads and debit spreads to earnings. And then from there, you could probably learn a little bit about like diagonals, calendar diagonals. And then from there, whatever, if you want to come up with a system to go long calls and long puts. But it's weird because options are complicated. And the easiest thing to learn in options, which is a complicated subject, is going long calls and long puts. But inherently, long calls and long puts is the easiest way to blow out an options account. So that's what's crazy about options, especially the regulatory framework here in the US, is the level 1 options, buying calls and buying puts, is actually the worst thing you can be doing. It's the most difficult thing to be successful at. It's the easiest to learn and it's the most difficult. And actually, I take that back. I said that you should start with credit spreads. You should start with covered calls, selling covered calls, either poor man's covered calls, which is a type of a credit spread, or just straight up covered calls. That's where I would be actually like leaning. So I would say covered calls. Okay. What you want to do is trade on a paper account long enough until you understand all of these things. When you understand them and you want to actually bring your money to the market, the first trades you should be doing are covered calls. Then from covered calls, you move on to credit spreads. From credit spreads, you move on to debit spreads. From credit spreads and debit spreads, you move on to playing them for earnings. From then, you can move on to calendars. And then from there on out, if you're at that point, do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're making money. And it's weird because it's almost inverse. You have to start with something complicated, but the order in which I just told you, covered calls, credit spreads, debit spreads, earning spreads, and then calendars, and like then you can move on to other extravagant things like J-lizards and all that crazy shit and ratios and all that. What's weird about it is the thing you should start trading, which is inherently like a good way to not blow out your account, it's kind of more complicated than the thing where you have the highest odds of blowing out, as in long calls, long puts. And yet the regulations in the US allow you to do long calls, long puts, even though it's the most dangerous. That's what I don't get about it. That's what I don't understand, like whatsoever, is that the most basic level of options, according to US regulators, as in long calls, long puts, is actually the most dangerous thing to do when trading options. Like, imagine if in the US, when you got your driving's license, you weren't getting a normal driver's license when you could just drive a sedan down the road. Imagine if we started everyone out with like radioactive material on ice road truckers. That's how opposite it is. They're like, okay, cool. You're a 16-year-old. So ice road truckers, radioactive material, and it happens to be a super busy city. That's where they start you out. And then the quote unquote like complicated thing that they let you do later after you can prove you're good enough is like driving a Toyota Corolla by yourself on a highway. Like it's just so opposite of what we should be doing, and literally the level of clearance. I mean, technically the most dangerous thing is naked calls and naked puts, and I mean, no one should be really trading naked calls, naked puts. Like you have to have a pretty large account and a good reason to do it. If you're at that stage, congrats to you, and I think that's what you need. Level 4 clearance thing is, so that's actually the most dangerous. And that's the highest clearance. So that makes sense. They were right on that one. But everything else, they're kind of wrong about. Naked calls and naked puts get very, very dangerous, especially even if you know what you're doing. If you're oversized, you can get into a lot of trouble. So especially for someone who's new, or maybe you're just not so happy with how your trading career is going thus far, my recommendation to you would be get a paper trading account and start wrapping your mind around what credit spreads are. Credit spreads. Look up credit spreads. If you are at all knowledgeable about the world of sports gambling, you know how we have the over-under bet for the total score? That's what credit spreads are. So if you think the SPY is going to be above 606 at the end of the day, you would sell a 606 put credit spread. If you think the SPY is going to be below 608 at the end of the day, you would sell a 608 call credit spread. So call credit spreads are when you think it's going to be under. Put credit spreads are when you think it's going to be over. And to show you what one of those looks like in real time, let me bring up Spot Gamma, because when we call Captain Condor, an iron condor is when a person puts a call credit spread and a put credit spread together. So they think the price, aka like the metaphor that I'm using, the sports analogy, they think the score is going to be below a certain value and above another one. That's what an iron condor is. It's putting a put credit spread and a call credit spread together. What are you doing, Piper? So let me zoom in on this right here. So this is a call credit spread, as in they're betting that the quote unquote score, aka the stock price, is going to be below 6,075. And they're also simultaneously betting that it's going to be above 6,020. So this on the bottom is a put credit spread. It's an over bet. And this right here in the orange, double click to zoom out. How do I zoom back out? Zoom out. Right here, this call credit spread, they're betting on the under. So a call credit spread is for under bets. A put credit spread is for over bets. And at the end of the day, there are some nuances such as like pin risk and that, but let's just not talk about that for right now. At the end of the day, it really does just come to, are you above or below? That's it. It's binary. Same thing with sports betting of, are you above or are you below? Here's my little baby. Here's my princess. She's also the chief investment officer of my hedge fund here and the Matt Core Show. So when you guys are looking at Skynet, it's all because of this little genius right here. It's all because of this little genius right here. Old Pippa. Old Pippa. Old Pippa. Old Pippa. We're just buddies. We like to hang out. We like to trade together. We like to talk shit together. We like to kind of just do whatever. Are you showing your butt to the world? Save that for OnlyFans, girl. You know, as much as I try to teach her to not do that, especially not doing that for free. Don't do it. Where do you get a jump to? Do you need down? She's an oddly unathletic cat, which I don't really understand. Are you just going to sit there like a bird? What are you, a parrot now? What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Are you going to jump? Big jump? Little jump? Do you want down? All right, this is getting confusing. What are you doing? What? All right, now we're just kind of stuck. Now we're just a little bit stuck here. Are you just sitting there? All right, I think she was nervous to jump from such a high height of 5 feet and 10 inches. Yeah, she's a bird cat. She's a bird cat. This is what I'm here for. Yeah, it's what we're all here for. Palantir taking off, looking nice. Meta's looking nice. Tesla trying to bounce back a little bit. Coin did try to bounce back, got smoked again. Netflix is giving back that gap up. Dude, Palantir, Qualcomm, right now in midday action, I'm not talking about the gap ups, but in like intraday action, Palantir's looking like a monster. Microsoft's looking like a monster. And then Meta's also looking pretty good. The SPY's looking good. The Qs are looking good. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. All right, are we missing anything? Yeah, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all bullish. How is Skynet doing? Skynet is long right now. Yeah, all five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All five are long. Long. I do have an idea of a couple things I want to do to improve this. I don't want it to necessarily take every signal, and that's the issue. Like, why did it go short right here? Not a fan about that. Went short, where if it just held this long the entire time, it would have been perfectly fine. So I have a couple ideas of what I could do. Any free platforms for backtesting trading stats? NinjaTrader, TradeStation, yeah. I got lucky with Palantir, bought it at $17. Liam, what a trade. What is Skynet? Skynet is just like the joking name that we call my like trading systems. We just generically call it Skynet. What else do we have? Remember, I still do think that the S&P 500 has another 10-point push in this. Wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about this by the end of the day. We might get into like a midday chop sideways type of thing. But as long as the options hold strong, as long as we're not just seeing like random intraday extreme profit taking, I mean, the Mag 7's looking good. S&P 500 is actually dipping a little bit in front of us. But as long as it can hold somewhat steady, I think we might be setting up for a nice afternoon push and run at the all-time high. Are we going to go extremely past it today? With a low probability, there's a chance of it. It's not something I'm going to be betting the farm on. If it does go above 1,000, 6,100, let me see what my reach target is. I did do a breakdown on this. Let me just recap it right now for all of you. I believe it was 6,140 was the next reasonable test, according to the options market. But let me get my model up. It's just recomputing right now. Also, why are we not vibing out to some lo-fi? Where's my lo-fi? Here we go. All right. We got some nice background lo-fi so we can think a bit smarter. S&P 500's index, PLTR, Roth, IRA, 75 shares, 1429. That is awesome. Shout out to Seth. Crushing it. Palantir's looking good. Palantir is a beast, dude. I like Palantir a lot just because not only does it have an exciting, intelligent community, unlike some of the other communities we know about, but it's fundamentally a legitimately good stock, also with good price action. So it has kind of what you want it to have. A good company that is going to play very nice with the current administration, a strong retail community support, and then awesome price action. Solid fundamentals, solid technicals, and strong community support. Palantir is a solid equity to trade, to invest in. I'm a big fan. Big fan. What else do we have? So that's Palantir. What is the flow on Palantir? We didn't look that up. PLTR. Palantir Technologies. Oh, look at that. Popping ever since 10:15. Yeah, that's right when the price started to take off. Beautiful options flow. Bear finds man. It's a cup, dude. Can bears even really hurt you? Wait, what is this? What is this awkward? Okay. announcing the Stargate project. They're basically doing $500 million, blah, 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 blah. And then Elon follows up, the official Elon account. They don't actually have the money. And then Sam Altman follows up with, I genuinely respect your accomplishments and think you are the most inspiring entrepreneur of our time. SoftBank has well under 10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. What is Elon popping off about, dude? Oh, man. Never a quiet day in the internet. Never a quiet day. Trump, 1 minute ago, if we don't make a Ukraine deal soon, the U.S. will be put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the U.S. President Trump is considering abolishing the federal income tax. Dude, then we should move to Florida. No state tax, no income tax. We'll let it party. Bill Ackman, he did sell the bottom. That has to be rough. He did sell the bottom. That has to be rough. Meanwhile, at the Minnesota Capitol, trans activists are coping. All right, if you say so. SPY and Q's turning. We kind of saw it first happen in options before the price. This is why tracking options is so important. Is before price fell, which is what it's doing literally right now, we saw the dump in options. Options was the leading indicator that just in the short term, granted, I'm on the 5-second chart. You could probably see it better on the 30. See how it started to drop right here? Price was still steady for a couple additional minutes. And then options got worse and then price really started to fall. So I guess a nice real-time example of just the leading indication powers of tracking Delta. Let's go to the 30-second. Let's see how the Mag 7. Yeah, the Mag 7's holding. I have high confidence that we bounce right back. The fact that the Mag 7 is holding, not worried about this at all. Not worried about this at all. If anything, maybe I should set up this. And we'll set up this. All right, marking out the intraday high, marking out the potential reversal alert if we go below 606, if we go below 531, which is possible, but unlikely if the Mag 7 options flow is this strong. Yeah, looks like we have some profit taking in the short term. Right here, you can see the calls dropping, but this isn't even bearish. It's not like people are loading up on puts right now. They're just monetizing their calls. They're literally just hitting the cash register, so I'm not too worried about it, especially because we're almost getting into like the midday chop. Once the midday chop kind of concludes, I think we're going to be A-okay. I think we're A-okay. CPX, point of, actually, I could show you guys this in real time, what this is. Here we go. The path of least resistance, according to the Delta map, is 6,095, maybe 97. That's where there's a lot of open action right now on SPX. You can see that there's a ton of sold calls today at 6,110, 6,105, 6,120, which is part of the reason why I do not think we're going to be getting above this. I think that's a tough thing to get out of. We do have support at 6,075, so that's a nice support base. This is the current open interest for today. If you look at just the volume today, straight up volume, not necessarily going long or short, but just where the action's at is 6,100. Probably not a surprise to most of you, and we don't have to worry about that for right now. But this is calling the, if no one else traded for the rest of the day, the way the market makers would have to hedge would send us up to about 6,095, 97, somewhere right in here, just below 6,100. Once again, that's if everything else was held constant, just for the market makers to hedge out their book. That's why it's called the path of least resistance. But of course, that's a theoretical reading as if there were no other trades. And we know that there's going to be a lot of trades for the remainder of the day. But we're just, in my opinion, dancing around these levels right now. The fact that we are so confidently holding above this 5-point support region, the longer we hold above it, the more the probability increases of us getting up within a 5-point test of 6,100, which is also potentially the all-time high. Speaking of that, the exact all-time high is, actually, we never hit it. We got to 6,099.97. So If this alert is hit today, it actually is a new all-time high, because that would be 0.03 above. And then if you're looking for the SPY equivalent levels, the answer there is 609.07. 609.07. And we're currently trading just below 707. So we have that marked out. Obviously, a bit of resistance at 608. I mean, just resistance, the start of this trend. So the high, $1 above where we are right now, is quite a bit of resistance, but I will be watching this 609.07 level. And then obviously you can map it out to those SPX equivalents. But this has just been a runaway train ever since mid-Jan. Look at that. Just a fake out breakdown, rippity skippity doodah to the upside. Absolutely crazy. Matt, is the spot gamma for puts and calls based on premium? I guess I don't understand the question. It's based on the delta. And when you buy calls and puts and sell calls and puts, that has an associated delta value with it. Premium is literally just the cost. So I guess the answer is no. Premium is the cost of an option. It's the value. The premium is the value of an options contract. But that is not the options flow. The options flow, you're measuring the delta, and different contracts at different strikes at different times with different volatilities have different delta readings. But premium is literally just the cost of it. Hey, where can I listen to the Ballad of Cat Moores? Here on the show. How can I track options on TradingView? I don't think you can. I don't think track them on TradingView. I don't think that's actually even possible. Two, they maybe one day will have like options trades, but to check the flow like this, no, you'll never get that on TradingView. To check like what I have up on the screen right now, this is like more of a higher end service, and I find the best one to be Spot Gamma. But you're not going to, there's no way you're going to be able to check the delta flow on like aggregate signals on TradingView. It would be a lot of money. Like I guess you could do it, but yes, you can. It's new. No, you can't. You can see options, but not the flow. They might just give you an options train if you want to execute your trades through it, but that is wildly different than tracking the actual options flow. Wildly different. I would assume, like, I'm actually surprised TradingView at this point didn't for years now have a built out options train just for you to be able to trade through, because you could connect your brokerage. So a lot of people wanted to trade through it and they just didn't, because most people were trading options. But to get this type of breakdown of like where the flow's been throughout the day, like the actual reading the notional delta value on aggregate signals, on individual equities, that type of thing. No. TradingView, if they offered you that, they would have to upcharge you by $200 a month, $300 a month. This type of data and the crunching and the analysis of this data is not a cheap process. Options data is very, very expensive. What rules do you have for 0DT trading options, time of the day, etc.? For example, some people don't buy them after 10 a.m. Eastern. Well, my 0DTE, I just sell premium. So all my rules relate to attempting to protect myself from selling premium. For a good portion of my trading career, I would buy 0DTE, calls, puts, that type of stuff. Since then, I've stopped it just because it's a net losing thing. There are very, very few people, like there's a small percentage of people who can be successful buying 0DTE premium, buying calls, buying puts. If you want to increase your odds of success, the first thing you could do is start selling premium. That's a well-known thing, and anyone who would disagree with that just doesn't know enough about options or trading or the distribution of it or how it works. But if you do like read any of the earnings transcripts from these brokerage companies, they'll tell you that most people buying premium are losing money, especially on the 0DTE. You're when purchasing premium, the longer your time frame, your odds of success actually increase. Is it a guarantee? Absolutely not. But there's an inverse relationship with the amount of time you have left. So if you have very minimal time left, your chances of being successful in the long term are decreasing. The longer the time you have till expiration, over a series of many trades, that your odds of actually increase. So one of the first things you can do to try to increase your odds of options trading, especially if you're long premium, is increasing your time till expiration. Now, selling premium is a bit of a different beast, and that's why if I'm trading 0DTEs, like as in expiring that day, I'm only selling premium. Only. Do you do just straight cash secured puts? No, there's because at a certain point you have to consider capital utilization, and I think there's a higher efficiency for me to utilize my capital. What is 0DT? 0 days until expiration. As in that options contract ends at the end of that particular trading day. If it's a European style contract, it'll conclude at 4 p.m. If it's an American style contract, technically it's 4:15. Do you have a video on selling premium? Yeah, that's a lot of the things in the Discord. Thoughts on BKKT? That's just a crypto exchange used by a lot of these equity brokerages that allows them to also give their clients the ability. On BKKT, the big rumor on that was, is DJT going to buy it? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I don't think that's just almost like a random business move. That's not something that we could really like surmise from reading price action or options flow. Pulling back before rocket time. Yeah, this is a pullback. Nothing to freak out about. I mean, even though price is coming back, look how strong options are. I still think the dips are to be bought. Why it's dipping so much right now is the 0DT players are locking in their profits. So you have these call players locking in their profits, and then you have some people buying some puts. I think these put buyers are about to get destroyed in this afternoon, just because the Mag 7 is remaining, it's too strong right now. So there's a bit of a pullback right now, and I think this is just setting up for a comically easy trade. You just have to wait for the trend line breakout, and then you could probably go long into the afternoon. Like, this is maybe not an A+ setup trade, but it's like very close to it. It's a A- setup trade. It would become an A+ setup trade as soon as the options flow pushes back positive. Earlier this morning, between 9:43 and 9:57, and you see how the options, the delta, the notional delta, like popped up. If you see that again, this bullish trade all the way up to where are we? The bullish trade up to 6,100, that becomes like an A setup trade, like a 5-star and a 5-star. But you have to just be patient. The way I was this morning, remember this morning how I was like, wait, and then it showed strength? You would want to wait for that strength to come back in. And as soon as you see the options market go bullish, and then ideally if that's associated with a trend line breakout, that's what you want to take advantage of. That's what you want to take advantage of. Are there any reports coming out this week? Not many. I mean, the major one tomorrow is the initial jobless claims. At 1 p.m., we have some bond auctions. But the major macroeconomic news this week is just anything Trump does or doesn't say. How do you view the options market? Spot gamma. What I'm looking at right now is called spot gamma. You could get 80% off, I believe, if you use the code. It's in the description. Actually, the Qs might be breaking out right now. Watch it. Once the Qs recapture 532, once the SPY recaptures 606.80, I would just be double checking how strong options are. But if options start to bounce the way we saw early this morning, if you see that nice bounce there, I mean, the Mag 7's been holding this whole time. There's not even any real weakness there. So as soon as strength returns, which is a big if, but when that strength returns, which I do think it will, as soon as I saw strength, that would be my signal to be bullish if I were still looking for an additional trade. Hey Matt, for Skynet algo, do you have it set with confirmation across multiple timeframes or just 200 tick? If so, what timeframes do you like? Just curious. No, I mean, I show the 200 tick here. I show the 1000. I'm actually not trading on any of this. This is just for literally stream purposes, which apparently I'm short right now. Didn't even know that. But I could see how I'm changing this around, and then it's just not changing anyway. So I'll use filters related to different timeframes, EMAs, but it's the same logic that I talked to you guys about here, where I like to check the 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute, the 4 hour. I check the 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute, the 4 hour. So I'll check that, and you could import that data to wherever your strategy is. But it's not like I'm looking like, I guess I'm a big fan of the 5, the 10, and the 30 when I'm swing trading. For short time frame stuff. If it gets a little bit longer, I like to look at the 10, the 30, and the 4 hour, depending on how long I believe to be in it. But when I'm trading futures, it's day trading, so I care a lot about where the 5, the 10, and the 30 are at. What's Piper's net worth? Like right now, a bag and a half of kibble, I would say, is what like her main. Oh, a lot of toys, a lot of catnip based toys. So she has a couple birds, a bag and a half of kibble, a lot of toys. We spoil her. What ways do you use moving averages for the signals? I don't use moving. I use exponential moving averages, but I just do a generic filter test of is it above or below whatever value, and then I'll go back in history and data mine what the best length is. But that's it. How cold is it in New York? It is freezing. I was outside yesterday when I was in between all my errands, and it was frigid, like bone-chillingly cold. Bone-chillingly cold. Oracle sitting steady for a massive announcement. I see. I wonder if it'll surge soon. Oracle's looking strong. The Qs are trying to break out. Look for that to recapture 532. Look for the SPY to push 60680. But most importantly, look for enthusiasm to come back into the calls on SPX. You want to see... I guess I'm long now again. Long, long, short, short. Long, long, short, short.
Order submitted.
Long, 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 long. All right, those ones are going. Just trying to iron out the kinks with this. It takes a lot. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a pop in the delta right now. More specifically, a little bit of calls are being purchased, but more so we're seeing the delta move up because puts are being closed out. So this little short-term movement to the downside, those put players just monetized. And as they are monetizing, they're removing negative delta from the system, thus pushing it upwards. And we're seeing it being led higher by the NASDAQ right now. Palantir also got hit, but we're recovering. What else do we have going on right now? Meta is looking good. Qualcomm was good up until 10, and now it's finally showing some movement upside. Nvidia is stable. Netflix trying to bounce from the morning open. Tesla not doing the most. Coins getting hit. MSTR is getting hit. DJT is getting hit. Rumble's trying to bounce off of 1240. Palantir is looking good. Got a little bit of a hit, but overall, I'm liking it. Microsoft is looking good. Apple's not doing the most. ASML had a good push till 10, giving it back. Broadcom got hit pretty much all day. Amazon's holding. Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta is where there's quite a bit of strength at on an intraday basis. So I'm not talking about the difference from the close from yesterday till right now. I'm talking about from market open to now, not only price, but also options flow. Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. I'll stack them all up here. These are the top 3 positive flows of the day. Actually, there's another thing we could check as well. SPX, Nvidia, Netflix, Tesla, SPY, Qs, NDX, MSTR, TSM. Okay. I just wanted to see what the active contracts were. But those are... Okay, we're already getting this reversal. Look at this flow. Right there. Nice pop. Folks, if you want this... Here, I'll just give it to you right now. Right here. We are the only community that Spot Gamma offers an 80% off deal. I just pinned it to the top of chat if you want this. But folks, I cannot explain to you how pivotal this service is to my own personal trading day in and day. I mean, even the trade this morning, you saw my perfect timing with it, but it wasn't some like miraculous thing. It was literally just looking at options flow. So if you want to try it out, we are the only community that they offer 80% off to. So check it out. I just threw up the link if you have any interest in it, but I truly believe one solid trade, you could pay for an entire year of this service. You really, really could, especially with the 80% off. So just that's in there. I don't really talk about their link that often, but just because we're talking so much about the flow today, the reason I felt confident about this breakout, and then also I'm going to call this out later today, I think we get a continuation to a new intraday high. Now, will we exactly hit this value of a new all-time high? I have no idea, but I do believe we take out the intraday high. And the reason I'm coming up with that is because even in this price drop, the reason that I didn't get scared of we're selling off, because look how strong options were. They didn't even care. Price came down, but like the options market, the derivatives market is so indicative of what's truly going on. So I saw that there was more of a reaction in the S&P 500, and we saw this bounce taking a little bit of a hit right here. And like I said, I'm just waiting for that buy opportunity. If I were looking to trade, I know for my own trading that trading at this part of the day is not really the most beneficial for me. So I'm not going to take any additional trades. But what I'd be looking for, like a telltale sign for this entry, not only the breakouts that we were talking about right here when I said 606.80, surprise where we got like rejected, and watching 532. So if they can hold this and get back above it, if that's associated with positive delta flow in the S&P 500 and the Mag 7s holding this steady, that truly is an A+ setup. That truly is a phenomenal A+ setup. So just want to let you guys know about that. But overall, that's it for today's show. I appreciate the good vibes. I appreciate the love. I hope you're making a shitload of money. Thus far, I'm having a pretty good day. Locked in $20,000 on futures. All the other trades are currently open, but thus far things are trending in my way. So I don't have really much to complain about. I will be posting an update video later on today. We're going to be streaming once again tomorrow. I gave you the list of things that I'm really interested in watching. I think Meta has good flow. I think Microsoft has good flow. And I think Amazon has really good flow. Obviously, the SPY, we're talking about it near an all-time high. We're looking at the Qs, also looking crazy strong. Even the Qs aren't that far away from an all-time high. So right now, in the short and the medium term, and they're always in control in the long term, but in the short and the medium term, the bulls are in control. That could change on a moment's notice, but right now, based on all the data we currently have, it is smart to be bullish. It is smart to be bullish. So that's what I have for you at the moment. I'm going to go to the Discord, hang out with them. If you want to join up with the Discord, don't forget to use that code Goonie. Your first month's free. That's what I have for you. Best of luck. I'll catch you later. Love you all. Peace.